allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, there was one that was smaller and they went like this. Big.
Let me get my agenda out. Meeting minutes from this is where I get someone to say I make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comments.
No.
So many public here. Should we have
Spending plan update. We, looking at this, you probably noticed, we, 23, we have a surplus of 1.2 million. I'm trying to get that to 2024. I can loan that to Evansville. If we don't have anything that comes up today, I can loan that to Evansville. And
can't wait here. We kind of look at it. Would do anything, right?
well, if there's a change order or something coming through,
Otherwise, no.
I haven't heard of anything.
Yeah, that for the Union Mill sidewalk. There's like 125,000 we're trying to get for this for fiscal 24 though, right? You're talking 23?
23.
Yeah, no, it's 24.
Well, we have 1.2 million left over. We're trying to get that transferred to 24. I think I'm going to get $1 million of it back in 24. That's what I've been arguing. I'm trying to negotiate getting $1 million of it back in 24. The rest would come in 28 or something like that. We could probably adjust those numbers however we need fit.
We have a couple.
I do have some requests that I made notes on. So I've got something from Michigan City, LaPorte, moving the project, and then I got 3 different desk numbers for LaPorte. So we'll talk about those. We can talk about those needs later on. Trying to Singing Sands Marquette Sterling Sands. Looks like there's some right-of-way. And some PE. Is Mitch gonna be back next week?
Yeah,
So I'll need those FEMA's requests
okay.
as quickly as possible. Transport's got 2 vehicles, 95, 96,000, 97,000. You'll get those sometime. Hopefully before you retire.
Exactly.
Lisa did go to a bus conference last week.
Oh, is that where she was gone for 2 days?
Yeah. So
I haven't talked to her.
she learned pretty much we can't get any electric vehicles.
I don't want to.
Well, I'm just saying that if anybody wanted any electric vehicles, buses, we can't get any. But she had come up with some other ideas.
Great.
And it looks like those transit vans are probably going to be the best option.
Oh,
Because those body on chassis are just, unless you're ordering electric, and you're not going to get any.
You gotta get that famous together for you to run
I don't know how many people you normally carry in a row,
seeing sand.
so, but those hold
No,
like
well-
5 or 7.
yeah, and they're big, they use them, I'm sure, we can get wheelchairs on.
Yeah, they have those where they can, with lifts, they've got a low floor, really, really low floor. And then the signals, which are set in April, or set in May.
May 11, I believe.
Okay. Do you know what your estimate is?
Yeah, 500. 499.
499.
Yeah. I can get the exact number. Oh, sorry, 494, 1559.
494,
1559.
015.
Yeah, 015.59. The other thing we're gonna request was, CE. Now, with it being a letting, would it be easier to maybe request like half the CE?
No, they'll get the, you gotta get the CE, that doesn't include CE?
No.
How much is CE?
I don't think it should be more than 8% on this one, because they're just wiring some stuff to the cabinets. I'm not gonna give them more than 8%. Yeah, there's not a lot of actual construction.
That's 39,000. 512. So it's 533. you doing the math?
I did the math based on rounder numbers.
So. That leaves us with $1 million left over, right at 1 million. So, I think I can get that back next year, otherwise it's gonna be in 27 or 28. It is what it is.
Sorry.
That means you gotta take 2 pieces of candy.
Okay, if you must, if I must.
Feeding bowl.
I'll take 3, how about that? Sorry, guys. My assistant's all sick today.
Well, I guess if we're doing it, if that's on a May letting, I guess we don't necessarily have to have CE in FY '23. We use 24.
Well, we have a deficit of 200,000 in 24. If I can get this money in 24, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Might as well keep it in 23.
Yeah.
So, we'll just keep it in 23. There's $200,000. I think we can easily get that. How can we spend the other 800,000? Is the question. We could probably, I'm not sure who had local projects. One of the things that I did notice, and I brought this up with LaPorte, was that, okay, there's $200,000, but we have $1 million this year that we have extra, and we're short $200,000. We can't just move money from one year to the next, because we have CMAQ funds, we have HSIP funds, we have CRP funds, and we have Protect funds. And at least 50% of those funds that we get for that category have to be used for those type of projects. So, we don't have any CRP projects, but I think that's gonna come up with the, that's $200,000 in 24. Protect money is $75,000 a year, $76,000. That's resiliency. So, and I know that doing a project for $75,000 is not desirable, but you can do a planning project. If you want, I can share the fact sheet with you. We might have to do, and this is kind of getting into, this might getting into number 6, and we might have to do a NOFA for 6A for those Protect funds. But if there's a project that was in this past NOFA,
It becomes so difficult to do a project that size. Is there any way we can just
that's where I was going.
leverage
That's where I'm going.
NERC? Thank you.
No, it's not where I was going, but,
When, I mean,
so what we can do is we can, if there is a component in there that, if you're repaving a street and you have a culvert that's causing the street to flood or something like that, we could repave the street and put a bigger culvert in. And, yeah, we would use those Protect funds along with STPG funds or something like that. So if there's one of those, if there is and then we could leverage the PE for Protect funds. For what?
we're just wondering where our planning project is in all this.
150.
How much is that, 150?
150 federal.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't see it listed, so I was concerned. That's 24, right?
Yes.
When are the protect funds, what fiscal year are they first?
23.
23.
$75,000.
No, it doesn't,
We'd have to comp plan.
It's kind of developed. So it could.
So that would probably fit into some element of the land use plan, right?
Environmental and transportation. Well, protect is specifically resilience, right? So the environmental and resiliency. I mean,
Flood issues.
well, it's just building it back so that it's not gonna flood in the future, so,
Well, but I mean, from a planning standpoint,
yeah.
it could be used for like.
So,
Flood map or updating GIS or something like that for flood mapping.
activities for protect funds, planning activities to develop a resiliency improvement plan. Resilience planning, pro-design, design, or development of data tools to simulate transportation disruption scenarios. To withstand one or more elements of weather event or natural disasters, such as sea level rising, flooding, wildfires, extreme weather events. Community resilience and evacuation route activities, strengthen and protect evacuation routes. To you guys, to strengthen, stabilize, harden, elevate, relocate, otherwise enhance the resilience of highway and other non-rail infrastructure, bridges, roads, pedestrian walkways, bicycle lanes, so on and so forth. That including coastal flooding, coastal erosion, wave action, storm surge, or sea rise.
Does it have to be infrastructure like?
no, it could be planning.
You can do planning.
We could use part of it for an environmental resiliency chapter component of the comp plan.
You just,
But it's 23 funds, you said?
well, I have 23 funds, but they're really, I could, if I had 20, if we could put it in 24, that'd be even better.
Okay, well then if you want to, what, 25,000?
How much of that is gonna be? I have 75,000.
I don't think I can justify that, because I mean, there, you know, I'm saying a chapter on environmental, you know, resilience, environmental resiliency. And then the portion of that would apply to transportation as well.
So you're thinking a third of that?
I think I could use a third of that if somebody else
Okay.
needs the rest of it. I'm
So,
just trying to figure out a way to use that in a way that makes sense.
yeah,
And I think I could justify, you know, using 25 of it for that.
Jay,
Yes.
you got anything that you need to, you could apply that to?
Well, I was thinking about, we've got a situation in flooding in this John Kine Park that happens, you know, as we've been looking at, I've got plans actually partially developed already for that. I don't know.
And that's definitely within the urbanized area.
Yes.
The question is, do these have to be used on or adjacent to a federal route? And are any
I don't
of
think
them
that
in
is.
John Kine?
I don't think it is.
They might all be classified as local roads.
Well, unless Johnson, I mean, it's,
Well,
The
Johnson
one we're
would-
looking at doing is actually in the subdivisions. They would definitely be local roads. It wouldn't be.
Well, and we have some of our subdivision streets that we were able to classify as like minor collectors.
We might be able to do that on a couple of them, but
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of right now that would be particular. Ross, I don't know, we're looking at, on 400 West Johnson Road, where that, coming off that guardrail, we've got some plans already in works to bring that in, bring it over about 200 feet, but would that be considered, so that's more of a safety, I think, than a protect maybe. That's another, 400 West and
Well, there's
Johnson.
only $75,000. I mean,
That's,
I know it's,
this will take care of that, Mary, so yeah.
so it's something we can keep in mind.
Yeah.
I might have to do another NOFA just for protect funds. But that being said, if there's something we already have that we could apply, for instance, like the comp
Yeah,
plan,
I mean, a portion.
or if you got something, if one of those trails or something, like that bridge,
Yeah, what about,
is that bridge gonna be raised? Is there a flooding issue there at the bridge?
Liberty Trail Bridge,
Yeah,
not really, no.
just replacing the approach slabs, putting trail across it.
I mean, the north-south corridor will have a component of, kind of
That's what I'm thinking.
upgrade
Plan.
and modifying of Sure's ditch, which is
Yeah.
a regulated drain. Which would, very much be in line with these.
That's a substantial area that includes, that's what I was getting at when I was talking about the plan, because it fits directly in with what the plan's looking at.
so anyway, if you put a project in the NOFA, let me know.
If you do know, then we can probably put something together for that.
Just
We
back
already
up a
have
second
funds.
on that bridge, but did you guys get the MOU
No, we already have, I've done this.
to us, so we can get that take care for the PE funds that we need to?
Not yet.
Not yet,
No,
okay.
so our attorney's drafting that for you
Gotcha,
guys.
okay.
I mean, I think we have to think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know, that's what
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Yeah, I
moving
know.
on and saying, if there is a project that you submitted in the past NOFA that could have a protective resiliency aspect of it, let me know, and we can put in like 25% or a dollar amount if we apply, if we know that, where it's increasing the size of the culvert, for instance, and what the difference of that culvert is from going from a 9-foot culvert, something like that.
When does it have to be obligated?
Starting in 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
So, yeah, we can definitely help out with 25 of it.
So,
So we do have one grant project coming up that is to build more or less a mini Strudel pond at Adams Park. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten the official federal award yet, but I know we got the award.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a significant drainage project for the Southgate area of Michigan City.
so just something to keep.
What are the federal funds now?
What do we call for that?
I mean, the total project's at like 2.5 million, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we matched it. The redevelopment commission matched it into that. I can't remember who the funder is. I don't recall.
Yeah, it's actually
You
through
recall?
our sanitary
We
district.
applied for it when.
I'm drawing a blank, I'm
I
trying to
don't
think.
remember who it was.
Well, Cuss did the application.
I think that the only challenge would be, you probably still have to go through the entire detail process with NDOT, even if it goes through with another federal agency, is my guess.
Never mind, Charles.
Unless you get a
The
raise,
reality of
I will tell you
the
this,
federal funds.
if you do get a raise grant, you can take NDOT out of the whole picture and just deal with the feds.
It's a good point, Nick.
Well, but maybe there's some leeway now that, I mean, with the raise grant, that changes things. Maybe there's a way to not have
There might be
double the process.
There might be some negotiation with the feds that you don't have with NDOT. Because if you remember, NDOT is looking at 500 projects and you just can't say, well, this one we might do this, or this one we might do that. Just kind of black and white, this is the way it is. So that's just, if you get a raise grant. That's what we're experiencing with the raise grant.
Well, they're pink.
So,
It's Valentine's Day.
uh,
If we don't spend the money somewhere else, we end up needing to use it.
we can't use it.
Okay.
It's too late in the year to use it.
That's what I wasn't sure if any of the NOFA projects would be, the PE portions of any of the NOFA projects would.
Well, no, that's why we took the comp plan and moved it to 24.
Got it.
I'll tell you right now,
Which
the
actually
the
worked out
October
better for us
amendment,
anyway.
October 22 amendment, still has not
has
been
not been
approved.
It's crazy.
It's been approved by NERC, but it's still not in the STIP.
5 months later, they still
Has there
haven't.
been any follow-up on it?
It doesn't affect anything that NERC has, so it doesn't matter to me. However,
Like, is there a way for us to follow up on what's holding it up?
last I had heard, it was in the public comment period.
How long is the public comment period?
It used to be 7 days. I don't know what it is now.
7 months.
No, it didn't, actually, it didn't go into public comment. It's been about 2 weeks since it's been in public comment. They got to the point of public comment was probably the third week of January. So it's been like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks that's been in public comment. So maybe it's 30 days, I don't know.
30 days. So, once that's done, then you anticipate they'll move it forward?
Well, that means that all the projects in October will be okay. We had a January amendment too. So, just an FYI. I think NDOT's still working some things out. With the tip and the STIP.
Wow.
Bill, they had a lot of turnover too.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of people. So,
Why are they taking our quarterly reports back, you know?
well, yes, I do know. Because, the federal highway got after them because they weren't holding them, they weren't showing that they had a quarterly report. So, which is simple, I mean, I sent them all the quarterly reports this time. So we could have
For a while,
done,
we were doing both.
Mhm.
Then we switched them all over to,
if you wanted to, some places didn't, like all the counties kept them with NDOT because they were already doing an NDOT.
right, okay.
So it just kind of depended upon what you wanted.
So now we're not doing them on your online system at all, it's all going back to.
Yes. So that was only one part of it, because I could have sent them to them. But NDOT figures it'd be easier just to go through their process and keep it in the house. Secondly is, we're moving away from Arctic. NDOT is putting together an electronic tip for all the MPOs.
So we'll be in LTAP for a while and then we'll switch over to something else?
It'll be all in LTAP.
Be all in LTAP, okay, so now, in here, we got September though, will still be will be our tip, right? Until it gets switched over? Is that a way of reading this properly?
What's that?
Some of the projects will still be in our tip until after September when the contract runs out or whatever you guys got.
Yeah, our contract ends in September, hopefully before then,
Okay,
the other one will be up and running. They told me that it should be up and running in March, so I'm looking, beta coming out maybe in April or something like that, April. So I'm looking at sometime this summer, we could shut down our tip and migrate over to the new one, and then we would just kind of float our tip until our contract ends in September.
So our first quarter, are you wanting us to do them in both?
No, no more.
Just go to NDOT, okay.
NDOT has flipped everybody's on, so you can do them in our tip if you want. I mean, you're doing double work. You're doing double work, so why?
Is there any way you can modify LTAP a little bit to take some of the RTIP benefits in there that you don't have to copy and paste everything over and over again?
The LTAP is not my thing.
Okay,
That's terrible, that you have to re-enter every single thing.
yeah, you have to re-enter everything.
Over and over.
And I think RTIP just carried everything over.
You've made the changes in RTIP, you did
Yeah,
any
and
changes in
then
that?
the changes you made carried over to the next one.
Yes, where LTAP you make the changes, then you just gotta keep a copy of it, or, make sure that everything is jiving together, but you gotta re-enter it all, like you said, every year.
I'll ask.
It'd be very nice if they could do that, if it could just keep everything there, and then you just
I
re-enter
mean,
the
I think the
changes.
dates in the future may change, but the stuff
Right.
like on St. Sands 1, it's 20 years. Nothing's gonna ever change.
Yeah, but see, after that long, you don't have to go to the other sheet to remember what all this stuff is, you just, it's right in your head, you just write it.
I'll ask on the next call that we have. So. Like I said, that was, we were talking about protect.
So before you get off protect, so what do you need as far as approval for us to use 25 of that?
Is it just gonna be 25?
I don't think we can justify more than that for,
Is it gonna be more than 100, more than 150?
Maybe we should.
well, the project is gonna be 250, 300.
But you're already you only asked for 150.
Right.
Well, we can use the money.
Right, but can we, $75,000 worth of Protect eligible?
Well, so we created a stormwater utility, but we never actually completed a stormwater master plan.
Discuss it in your,
So
in your
that's,
team
when do you need
meeting
to know?
and let me know.
What do you need to know?
And that was never a part of it.
I'm not gonna touch it till probably April 1st.
All right, we'll talk about it.
You have plenty of time,
so there's 75,000 total in that fund, not
every year,
every year, okay.
right?
Okay.
I mean, if you go over, you go over. I mean, it's not gonna, because we can pull it from somewhere else.
But if every year it's there, we need to be starting to plan to use it.
Right. So we need to look at,
So we could use 25 for the comp plan and another 50 for stormwater plan, you're saying?
yeah, I don't have any in 2024, I don't have any HSIP projects.
That's what you're saying.
2025, we have an HSIP project. 2026, we don't have any HSIP projects. So,
I don't know,
2026, we don't have hardly anything. We don't have any HSIP, CMAC.
did we kind of pass over number 5 on our list?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We got talking about the protect funds anyway. We were on 4 and then we never,
Okay.
4 and 5 are kind of the same thing. 25, as you see, we have $168,000 we're in the hole. 26, we've got 700, excuse me. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line. 25, we're $1 million in the hole. 26, we're 1.4 million extra, so we can figure that out with the NOFA. Someone's project in 26 someone's project will get funded in 26.
I mean,
Especially if it's a,
Park Street intersection might be great or something like that.
especially if it's an HSIP project, or a CMAC project,
We maybe,
or a TA project, protect, CRP.
I can probably figure out how to make the intersection that you use CMAC.
What are you gonna do, go crash your car a few times?
Run over a
Can we get a couple
squirrel,
bus
bigger
crashes too?
and. Well, if you can find any buses to replace them.
No, we actually had a car crash into one of the buildings there recently.
Yeah, actually.
So, No, please don't create a crash. Don't create a
Well,
fatality.
we never pursued HSIP for that project, but now that we have a breakout kind of separate intersection, we could look at the numbers and see if they'd be eligible. And a lot of times roundabouts are eligible for CMAQ, correct?
Yes, they're, pretty much it's easy to get eligibility for a roundabout. HSIP is a more difficult.
Yeah.
We do have, NERC is gonna start doing road safety audits next year. That's mainly with group one, but I don't think anyone would have a problem if a project snuck in there from group two. So,
So I have a question, going back to the protect funds. Would, our erosion control, public access beach mats qualify? It's part of the land management plan to cover.
part of erosion control.
Yeah, it's part of
It is an
shoreline.
erosion control
Cultural
plan, but it
use.
also
I would think absolutely.
offers public access at the same time.
I would say yes.
I mean, that would be an easy spend.
It very much is.
We've got 13 paths and we've got 5 of them that have maps so far. Like I said, it's part of a bigger plan too.
So just hang on to that, and then when I get some free time, we'll put out another NOFA, and that's what we'll ask for.
Well, is there, so everything, this is all coming from federal highway essentially?
Yeah,
So everything is gonna defer to NDOT no matter what, because NDOT probably has not ever done a review, they've never done a NEPA document for a beach map, most likely, you know what I mean? Is there, at some point, isn't it more efficient to maybe defer some things to DNR or someone else? I mean, like Michigan
that's
Coastal
an
Program.
NDOT question.
And, yeah, just bringing it up.
But they have people that review stuff on the Ohio River, and
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I'm not too worried about 26, but 25, we have $1 million. So we could look at something, if you want to look at 25 and what could move out. Or move forward if we have $1 million, if we move that to 24, then we have a surplus of 600,000.
Move it to 24.
So if we moved a project from 25 to 24, is that possible?
I mean, and
That moved out to 26, that would match up with the intersection maybe.
yeah, the bridge will be complete by that point. I wanted to try and keep I didn't want to do 3 seasons of construction. I wanted to try and keep that as concise as possible, but.
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty
Michigan
disruptive.
City and Transport have vehicles coming in 25.
We should for like the next 2, depending on when we can get buses. It's probably gonna be that way for the next few years.
Right. LaPorte County Lincoln Trail extensions in 25. That's 1.6 million.
Well, I guess the other thing is, there were several trail projects in 24. What are budgets looking like on those? I mean, everything is high right now. Have those been updated based on actual the cost?
Yeah, all the ones in Michigan City are.
Okay.
I'm looking and see, because those are all actually part of the race grant.
Raise and ready.
Raise and ready, yeah.
So yeah, we updated our costs in mid-December.
LaPorte County's got,
You guys have segments that are at risk because of the timing associated with the environmental stuff up there? All yours are fine.
of course, other singing sands were done a long time ago.
Right, but I'm saying, I know with the raise grant, there were some segments that ran into problems they were gonna have to take out, and you guys weren't affected by that? Okay,
No, we're ready to go.
We're looking at, we interviewed a couple people, just for a heads up, we interviewed a couple people, a couple firms. And they both presented unique ideas to get the funds
be able,
obligated.
be able to still get the funds obligated.
Funds have to be obligated by June 30th of 2024.
And what's the total?
17 million,
17 million?
18 million.
Okay.
Were any of your projects group two that got moved into the raise grant or not?
Well, the trail, the
Trail.
construction for the trail in Michigan City is gonna be raised. But those were unfunded, weren't they?
They were
Construction was
unfunded,
not,
except
so-
for that 880, whatever it was, you guys used that, right?
PE was funded, that was it. So we need right away in construction and construction inspection.
I didn't know if anything was able to shift out of group two.
I don't think anyone was
Basically-
in group two ever with these.
I don't think
So raise is basically paying for the bridge over Trail Creek and then, over Trail Creek and then.
No, that bridge is being done
By the county.
by the county.
Oh, it is?
And
The
I think there's,
footbridge, the trail bridge over
You're talking about.
Oh,
by
no.
Friendship Gardens?
The Liberty Trail is, we're working with the county to get that done. The new pedestrian bridge over
That's
Trail
raised.
Creek and Friendship Gardens is part of Phase 3, Segment A.
Okay, and then the remainder from there east is raised,
All three of the remaining segments, right?
from Oak Hills Park all the way to,
Right.
yeah,
So
okay,
Phase 3 got broken out into 4 segments.
all the way to county.
B's done, so we need to do A, C, and D.
So raise is basically paying for the remainder of
Yeah.
phase whatever,
Phase 3.
phase 3, yeah. Okay,
so we did not take anything that was already funded and put it in the raise grant.
okay. Is the stupid crossing part of this too?
Which
The
one?
Amtrak crossing?
So Amtrak
There's two.
on Carwick, they're still
solar
having some
crossing.
like back and forth conversations, actually I got an email today. We're reviewing the agreement and making comments, however, they still haven't given us the cost estimate for the one by Brams, which was due August of 2019. And we still haven't seen it.
You've already paid for that.
Yeah,
Well, we paid some.
We paid all of it.
yeah, no, we paid.
Don't they want another $1 million out of it?
Yeah.
I wasn't involved, so.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't they want more money out of this?
We're over two now, right?
So if it gets put
I
on,
guess I can say we since I
if
know.
NDOT puts it on 12, then you could probably sue them for the money back.
Which makes our attorney's head explode, because I say that to her once a week, just sue them. Just sue Amtrak. She's like, are you crazy? Who cares, right? You have a signed agreement, you made the payment, you didn't get your product. Who cares if it's Amtrak or anyone else? But Amber's just like, you can't sue Amtrak. So Plan B is they're hiring, and I thought if I infiltrate Amtrak, I'm guessing within about 8 weeks, we get that trail crossing, or every train in America stops running. She didn't like that idea either. Coming up with Plan C. Don't even say Amtrak to Amber, seriously, her face twists all grotesque and scary. So yeah, I don't know where they're at, like I reach out to them every other week.
So here's what you do. Let's just call Amtrak John Smith.
And see
Oh, I
what
like
else.
John Smith.
Okay,
we like
Jane
that.
Smith. We'll call Amtrak Jane Smith. So we'll talk about suing Jane Smith.
That might go down a little easier.
So the crossing at Carwick is, so you're crossing Carwick and then going on the north side of the right way all the way back to where it connects with the counties.
That's the concept right now, but considering Amtrak sent us their design in 2017, they have done nothing but send us the exact same PowerPoint. So that's their drawing right now. I'm like, we paid you $60,000 for a PowerPoint?
Yeah, I remember.
And it's the same exact one they sent us in 2017.
Yeah, I remember.
With the little zigzags,
Yes,
kind of like
yes.
push you out
Cow gates.
to go around the gates because you can't figure out how to get through the gates. So that's
Yeah.
where we're at still. So we still don't know, is this a $200,000 crossing, a $3 million crossing? Are we ever getting a crossing? Well, the money's in '24, so my last email to them is, this money is about to expire, so we need to move forward. And then they answer on the other crossing, same people. So it's like they'll have this conversation, but they won't have this one at all. Like, it's the same thing, just two different locations. So I'm not sure what the holdup is.
Yeah, there's $600,000 in '24.
So you might recall, in the beginning, they told us it was gonna be around 200,000 total.
Yeah, I remember all that. And
So
then
then we got the
then
railroad.
1.2,
And
Or
then in
1.4.
8 weeks later, it went up to 1.2 million.
yeah.
To which we questioned based on what?
Mhm.
And they're like, what do you mean?
Mhm.
What are you basing the cost estimate on? Have you done preliminary design? Have you done anything? Yeah, we don't know. We'll get back to you in a month. And now it's 2023.
And there's $600,000 of NERC money on there, so that is at high risk.
And that's for 12, that's the 12 crossing?
Yeah,
And then there's
Yeah, like
246
money.
in state for signaling,
there's how much?
correct?
There's 400.
246
That was 400.
or 446.
Yeah, 446 from the state. And they haven't,
So that's what made the total 1.2.
But based on, Amtrak never told us what the estimate, it was verbal.
Right.
It was in a phone conference.
Right.
Never.
Oh, I remember,
so,
yeah. Okay.
Do you remember when they made our attorney leave the room because theirs wasn't present? You were at that meeting.
For paving, if I could get some. And for Chessie too, we never fully
So what happens to that money if like Amtrak just, say, 2023, end of year, and they still haven't responded? Like at some point, we have to make a decision to just tell Amtrak, you know what, we're done, we're not interested. Give us our $60,000 back.
we could move that to 28, because 28 is not fiscally constrained.
Okay. Does the state money expire for the signals? I don't think that.
They will use that somewhere else.
Because I don't think that had like a programming date. I don't think it had to be obligated by.
Yeah, but it's all federal highway money, and federal highway money expires at the end of the year.
But it's been sitting in there for years.
I know. But we can't get rid of it. Federal highway will not let us get rid of that project
Do you no
because
longer,
it poses a significant risk to pushing people out on the highway.
so you no longer have a force account, right? It was all paid out.
No, I still have a force.
You still have a force
This
account.
is a different DES number.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, we had to pull this crossing out of phase one.
Yeah, I
or
remember,
We would have
yeah.
lost phase one.
it had to have its
funding.
own DES number.
And NDOT's like, we've never pulled a crossing out. And
Norfolk Southern made us do the same thing.
Yeah.
We have the same thing in LaPorte, but Tyler.
I love how, we signed an agreement for them for preliminary engineering for like 5,000. And then like a couple months later, they come back for, an agreement for engineering for like 70,000.
So the force account has 60,000 in it.
It's never-
well, not anymore, but yeah, I mean, that's what we gave them.
So I have Chessie 2 in 25.
Yeah.
Crossing.
And we're working.
And which railroad are you crossing?
Tyler Street,
Norfolk
Norfolk
Southern.
Southern, by the hospital.
So. Okay, that one's good. Anyway.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we do need to discuss with NDOT, on where that federal money's gonna go, because there's no movement at all. And I'll probably talk to them this summer when 24 comes up.
I mean, we have detailed correspondence logs,
I know.
extremely detailed.
I know, but, and there's no right way needed,
Nobody's more
so.
detailed than Shannon when it comes to,
When you're gonna sue
Correspondence.
Amtrak, you better out here.
But I mean, right now, I guess the critical path is the design. and design standard critical path. So that's how simple this project is. When we get design, then we could let it go to construction. So,
And the design's a PowerPoint.
so,
And isn't that the same design as isn't that the same design as Whiting, as the crossing in Whiting?
It wasn't Whiting, it was somewhere in Illinois.
So they've already done this.
They've already done it.
It's
yeah.
not like it's rocket science.
And we actually designed it once. We
Yeah.
paid Butler to design it, and then
Yeah.
Amtrak looked at it and said, we're gonna have to send it through review, and then they came back and said, no, now we need to so we paid for it twice in essence.
so the project we have in 24, we don't have any state HSIP projects?
If you put out an extra NOPA, I know some folks at LaPorte County, the Sheriff's Department and EMS are somewhat interested in expansion of preemption.
Preemption, yeah.
But I think, my guess is we have to go through another NOPA to get there, right?
I'd have to find out what exactly they're looking at, what intersections. No, because, yeah, they would have to go through another NOFA.
Unless, what if they just want extra radios?
Put them in the cars.
So that's the 400 Weston Johnson, I think, is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we could,
I
yeah,
mean, technically, the county, I asked Mitch, he said, county only really owns 2 signals.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But I mean.
that would still be
they want 'em-
beneficial to the county to do that for our.
They want them on in-dot routes too.
Oh, Phelan 2 and
Johnson and 400.
Phelan 2 and Johnson and 400, yeah.
Those are the only two that the county has. But,
But I mean, we're putting them all on in-dot
right, it would be.
signals.
so you
I
could
did
put
talk
them in
to
your
everybody
cars,
who
you could put them in the
worked for
county sheriff.
Well, and that's the thing, we don't have it in the budget we have it in the budget for like our fire trucks and a couple extra
What
vehicles
about a
right
couple
now.
other, okay,
So we would love extra money to put it in more vehicles, especially so that,
we could do that as a change order.
yeah, that we can use,
24.
we use 24 money.
I
Right.
just have one.
Using our DES number.
Yeah, and actually that would work out good, because we could, it would show that we were spending HSIP money in 24.
And yeah, they're very interested in, trying to figure out if we can do it as a change order because they want to use the system, we're putting it in, right?
Yeah,
If we're trying to use HSIP, could we do better than 90-10 then? If we're trying to utilize more?
yeah, we could do better than 90-10.
That would be good.
You-
How much do you think that would be?
You want to be the hero to Sheriff's Department and EMS?
It doesn't matter, I'll let Mitch do that. It doesn't
How much do
matter.
you
I
think
mean, he was talking.
that's gonna be?
I got an estimate on per radio. They were gonna get us numbers of how many vehicles they think they would need them in.
So,
But that'd be amazing. I think be very much appreciated by.
They're interested in, very interested.
so
Right.
looking at 2025, we do have $1 million shortfall.
1,041,000, is that what it says?
Yeah,
Those numbers are small. I don't know about
there's, yeah,
1,041,000.
Park Street's on in 25.
Park Street, I'd like to try and keep concise with the rest of the overpass project, but if we do have to shift it around, it's not gonna get worse.
Well,
Pretty bad now.
it's bad now, yeah.
So,
And we're,
Lincoln Trail Extension, is 1.6 million. Trail 2,
But once we.
railroad crossings in
Once we get the
25,
deed, we can proceed. We don't have to settle it, we just have to.
that's what we have.
Right, yeah. Cause settlement can take.
And then buses, 2 buses for you, 2 for Robin.
Right.
And there's also $800,000 for the north-south corridor. So,
Well, we'll see how that works out. We may not need 800 in that year, depending on our,
This is in 25, you're saying?
yes,
So that's July of 24.
so the NEPA should be approved by that point, but the NEPA won't be approved until we have PE and right of way. You won't release our PE and right of way to it.
I don't have any right of way in there, I just got
Yeah.
PE.
So,
So I need a financial.
Yep.
How you gonna pay for it?
I used to say the county was gonna pay for it, but I don't think they are anymore. So, we'll figure it out.
So,
It's not a-
Uh,
No, it's not funny.
so I'm gonna have to, do you wanna move that money out, that 800,000?
If we're not overly concerned about being in the red in the short term, I'd rather just park it there temporarily. And see when if we can get our NEPA document approved by the end of the year, or ready to be approved by the end of the year, and just waiting on funds allocated to a phase of PE and right of way, then we might want to keep it, but I don't know. We're gonna know more pretty soon. We've got the project management team kicking off again, and need some updates from consultants on that.
Did you have figured in that,
Fill the missing
I mean, Mitch wanted for the right-of-way acquisitions for the Union Mill sidewalk, 125,000?
No, I don't. So, moving on.
All of that?
Here, Nick, I moved that 800,000 to 26.
Okay,
If we need it sooner, we can get it,
okay, that's fine,
but I need to show that it's balanced.
that's fine.
How much
So-
of this comes?
And now we're balanced.
Is
So,
it accurate or over? 6.
is there any issues with that? Everybody's okay with that? So we balance that.
Oh.
There's approval on the agenda.
Just the last two things that if we do have money in 23, that would be really helpful. I know we're talking 25, balancing that, but we never funded CE for our various pavement.
Okay, I have that down.
Okay. Oh, is that lower on the agenda? 'Cause I'll just-
Yeah, it's on the next, that's on number 6.
I'm not gonna talk.
I guess what I'm looking for is,
I make
A
a
motion.
motion to adjust as discussed.
Voting.
is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 6, we've already talked about the NOFA for the Protect funds. Not gonna happen until after the next TROC meeting. So just keep in mind that that's an option. Just kind of mull it over and chew on it and think about what you would submit for that.
If we have an existing project, those funds are really still not available till FY '24 anyway.
Right. 1902691, Michigan City wishes to accelerate, which is that? Is that a trail? No, that's Lincoln, that's trail, Liberty Trail, right?
That's the bike path, or the bike complete street project.
269, yeah, Liberty Road,
Yes.
Liberty Trail, from Liberty Street to Lake
Yeah, I
Street?
have one.
Yeah, it's from, basically just past the train tracks. I mean, eventually we'll have to get over the train tracks again. But it's basically a complete streets from Liberty Trail to Lake Ave. And we reapplied for complete streets again.
So I have $250,000 for right-of-way for that in '24.
Okay.
That, how much are you looking for? You're looking for 500,000
The total amount?
for construction?
Oh, I mean, it's a mill, it's right at a mill. Total construction, that's two different, it's split into 2 phases. There's
Okay, so I have 620,000.
So it's separated by tracks.
Well, it's even split into more phases than that. It's basically,
Yeah, it's
we
one
split
phase.
it up. It's 2 phases, but then past the tracks, obviously, we haven't even designed that piece yet.
So you're on the north side of the tracks now.
We're trying to connect to the infrastructure that's already been built there. And
Which phase is this? What's the segment?
phase 1 and 2 essentially is like $1 million.
And this is where?
Just north of the tracks to Lake Ave.
Oh, so you're doing the north segment.
Yeah, it's really all that makes sense right now. And then I've got a subdivision that'll finish some of the complete street through there.
Oh, yeah.
North Avenue? Is that what you said?
It's gonna go.
The railroad tracks to
Yeah.
North Avenue?
North of railroad tracks
Lake
Lake
Avenue.
Avenue.
to Lake. It's the connection.
Lake Street? Lake
Ave,
Avenue?
Lake Ave.
It's on Lake Avenue?
Mhm. Well, it's on Washburn Boulevard. Lake Ave, Washburn Boulevard to the railroad tracks, essentially.
Washington Boulevard?
Washburn Boulevard.
Washboard?
Washington Park Boulevard.
Yeah, what?
Thank you.
Just rename it.
We just did a field check with it and reviewed the design for the first time. Oh, did we?
So
Last
if
week.
we move that, that's $1 million, so let's just say 800,000 would be, we're talking is what we're requesting. There's $600,000 available in '26. We have 100,000, we have $1 million in '23. If we get that '24, that gives us a surplus of $600,000 in '24. I could try to get it in '25 instead.
So you're able to use it in '24 because of the
25.
because of the loan
Yeah, we're loaned to Evansville.
for this year,
Yeah,
and
and they
then
get back
come
in.
back in '24 or '25.
Hopefully,
24.
well, either one.
And that's what would allow them to move this project forward.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on what that is. So I will look into that, and if I can move it, I will talk to you, Skylar, on that.
Okay, I just need to figure out, I mean, I guess we don't have to figure it out right now.
Because it may not, depends on when we get it back.
Yeah, I get it.
So if we don't get it back till 28, then you're not moving your project.
Yeah, it's really moot point.
Where's your project at currently? What funding year?
It was in
28. It's in 28, but it's all local funds. So it's just outside the tip.
Oh.
But it's in local funds. 1900831 LaPorte, moving from 24 to 25. What project is that?
Wait, 190 what?
0831.
Oh, is that park? Yeah, that's park, isn't it?
No, that's 2002. Chelsea Trail 2. That's the railroad crossing.
River crossing. Oh,
I mean,
We already moved that.
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. 1902008.
So that's, we got 340 and 24. I mean, we can pave some streets, or we can move that into other projects. I don't like paving streets anymore with this money, because it's too complicated, but I can do it. So, whatever is needed for the group.
So that's in 2024.
And you said we have a surplus currently in 2024?
If the loan comes back.
The loan company.
Depends when the loan comes back. I think it's coming back in 24. We do need some money in 24 though. About 360. So,
So I would have no issue, so one thing we could do is once we get through the NOFA, what we could maybe do is, at least partially fund PE of one of our projects, assuming we move on in. You know what I mean?
okay,
So we get rid of this project, have the funds fit wherever they need to be, wherever we have a shortfall, but then start funding PE on some of our new projects.
okay. 1902002, that's Park Street. What are you asking for?
I'm not asking for anything on that right now.
Okay, that's in 25.
Yeah.
You're not asking for anything on that?
No. We've got money for right-of-way sitting in 24, and the only reason we're not moving forward with that right now is because we're waiting to get the new desk. Because the right-of-way is actually at the roundabout.
Okay. 2101143.
Gotcha.
Yes. So you're looking for extra funds this year?
Yeah.
Okay. I will let you know how much money we have left over.
Okay.
I might not be able to, but like we talked about, maybe we'll do a change order in 24.
Yeah.
And
It
at least,
doesn't
yeah,
help us on the construction side, but it'll help us on the CE.
it could, it could get those items and put them and it could get the transmitters in the vehicles.
But I mean, if we can't get,
Those are all emergency vehicles, right?
yeah, some of the money is, we've got, I should just like tape these all simultaneously, so that I have them on two sides. So we're at 319 total funds, and our final tracings estimate is the 494.
I have, well, we just discussed it's 533.
Yeah.
So I have, 488.
Okay, good.
And then any change orders, we'll just do, anything else is, I don't think we can do anything construction because it's not in your environmental document. But we could buy transmitters for the county.
Yeah.
And for anything else, as long as they're going in an emergency vehicle.
We'd also like to put, some battery backup on those signals too. Is that something that can be done within that project?
Well, so.
Well, we may not be able to touch your signals.
May not be able to do the signals. Now, the city's just doing 3 signals. So we can look at, we can kind of get our consultants to help out and see like doing those couple more signals if they want them. But the reality is you're gonna want them on in-dot signals too. I mean, the emergency vehicles, it's not just gonna be the county signals, you're gonna want them on everything. So it may be worth in the next NOFA, so get the cars all ready to go, the next NOFA, install the rest of them. Because they'll work all around LaPorte.
Yeah, that's fine.
Currently.
And I imagine Michigan City, who does Michigan City use?
They just have line of sight preemption right now, so they don't.
Who do they use?
Oh, I don't know. And I think they were maybe making some progress on getting Michigan City interested too.
So.
It'd be nice if we were all on one.
In Opticon.
Yeah, one preemption system across the county.
Is that what it is?
Right.
Optic.
Use the same,
We use
okay,
Opticon.
Opticon, all right, yeah,
Well,
that's fine.
especially for county and EMS, because there are times that they're going into Michigan City.
And they said that they have a lot of trouble with preemption up there because
Oh, sure.
it's the line of sight where if it's off just a little bit, they,
Who makes that decision?
usually police chief is the,
That's what I was getting at.
now our fire chief is the one.
Police and fire.
Push.
So it's one of the two.
It's one of the two, yeah. Actually, it's usually, at my experience, it's been the fire chief, because they're the ones that run the ambulances.
I'll ask.
Yeah, everybody
So
needs to
that'll
be
be
in the
the
same
next-
system. in
That'll be
town.
the next,
Well, you-
and then the sheriff, I mean,
How much, like, does, something like that?
So the whole city of LaPorte is we're doing like 27 signals, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And we're at 500,000, and that includes radio, handful of police vehicles.
But ours is like an asterisk, kind
Yeah.
of, the streets are like an asterisk and
Yeah.
Michigan City's a grid,
Yeah.
with a
But
diagonal
that's,
going
but
through
that's
it.
like,
So it's a different look, but
but their GPS,
they've got a lot more
I was
signals.
just curiosity, like, what are we looking, talking 100 grand or $500,000? It's
yeah, so I guess you've got more than 27 signals.
Probably. Yeah, you guys have a lot of signals.
a lot.
so you're probably, but the nice thing is,
Ours are all in lines.
the nice thing is you can fit it to the budget.
You could,
In the past.
Yeah, you could, prioritize.
Yeah, so you just say, this is, these are around the hospital, that's our priority, or right outside the fire station's a priority. So you could just go through that way and say, or the police chief will tell you, fire chief, either one, will tell you, these are our high priorities. These are the routes
The
we're in.
routes, yeah, it's the routes typically.
Right,
You're gonna want like, you're definitely gonna want like Cleveland in 20 and, Ohio in 20 and,
It's gonna be your major.
Cleveland and
routes.
Kiefer and,
right,
421
But
and.
But again, like working with the county, it may be that we 3 years and just do,
what do you mean phasing this in for 3 years?
I mean, do like 15 to 30 signals
You'd have
every
to-
year for 3 years. Yeah, I understand. They'd be different they'd be different projects, but at the same time, having an overall plan countywide.
But just thinking out further
Yeah, okay.
about how to get it all done strategically, or to structurally, go about getting all of it
And
done.
what you could then do is do one project for the NEPA, and then break it out into separate projects for construction. And then you could do it
Years coming project.
in 2020, fall 2024.
So that would give some time to plan out and prioritize.
So the plan needs to be done within 2 years.
Well, when we do the fall of 20,
Because of putting our new fire station, on Daytona Street, we wanted it ahead of our funding. So we've already, we're paying for using, I think mostly, and then the rest of the city is the HSIP funding. So it may be that, we can apply for other grants, safety grants, whatever, to do some of the work ahead of time.
I will tell you this on your own dime, in your snowplows, 20% savings in time and fuel in the dead of night, not stopping at, and they would get, it's a priority system, so nothing is ever gonna top a police car or an ambulance.
So ambulance and fire trucks, here, police vehicle, your snow plows would be under all emergency services, so you can just keep them going.
And they can turn it on, turn it off. So it's not like your guy's driving the dump truck in the summertime and he just,
That's really how it is though, Charles. We're gonna be honest.
so, but this is, you can turn that off, like, somewhere at City Hall or at the fire chief. He can turn that off and the trucks get green lights, except if there's an emergency.
What's the match on the grant?
Well, we're using HSIP, so it's 90-10 right now, but we've kind of talked about, we need to use more, you can go up a little bit.
There's some training that goes with this. Sounds like you don't want
No.
No,
You don't want
there is on.
shutting it off and the guy in the truck thinking it's still on.
I think we can let,
You know what I mean?
I think we can let the,
Going
before
60
we
mile
go
an
any
hour,
further,
it's gonna turn red.
before we're gonna, is there any other business?
We never fully, because our Jetson project was over budget, we never fully. Our total CE budget was 2, and we've only got 49,965 federal funded. Take us to the top of the contract, but if we can't get it in this fiscal year, the project's gonna span the 2.
It'll just cut back on the amount, if I give you the money now, it doesn't matter. If I give you the money now, you don't get it in 24.
Well, I just, if it doesn't make any, I don't want to eat into our swap too much that it doesn't make it effective. You know what I mean?
Right now, like I said, we have 100,000.
Mhm.
But the problem is, did you get CE money?
We got CE money, but we only got 49,965 federal funded on our CE because of where the numbers.
Well, I can't do anything about the 142,000 for construction.
No. This is for CE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just roll them out?
Yep. Wagner. Or sorry. Wagner. But, they're also subbing to USI.
So this is for 160-1867?
Yep. To not dip into that million that you're swapping, and we're already moving some things, that one project out of 24.
Let me get back to you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay. But once they hit their budget, then I'm paying 100%, I don't have 100%, you know?
Right. When are they gonna hit that budget? When are they gonna hit that?
They're gonna start
So you got 2 months. When are they gonna start getting going here? Another month?
You're gonna start putting up silt fence now, but they're not gonna start doing too much more.
Okay, so,
Pay out of pocket.
so that's March, April, May, dollars that you're gonna, if we do that.
The bulk of the construction's happening in there though, so.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, then we will adjourn.
You have to make a motion.